We've seen some great comedy tonight. I think we saw some really cool stuff. I personally have never seen anything quite as cool as what I've seen today. Can we get a big round of applause for everybody that's gone up so far? To do a little bit more.
Hooray for words.
Yeah. Boy, I can't tell you how happy I am being in a room full of hipster faggots right now. You guys, you get knocked for a lot of things, I think. You sort of live in this fantasy world where everything's fun, and I saw an Asian kid, like a Southeast Asian kid in a tank top driving a Porsche Cayenne with like a black vinyl wrapper around it, and it made me realize I want to kill everybody in here. But you guys, that's the only reason I think of can knock you guys. I mean, you have good taste, and I'm not here to knock you. I'm here to defend you and be your friend. You have good taste. You listen to the best music. Is that true? That's true, isn't it? What's okay? Give me the. Well, okay. Here's me right here. I listen to top 40 radio hits. I want you to blow my mind by telling me your favorite band right now. Look, come on, man, impress these people. You're gonna get pussy. You're gonna get so much pussy there. Come on, don't let me down. What's a good band here?
I like the Mountain Goats.
I can't make fun of you because that's that band. They're probably the best. They're probably a damn good band. You have the best taste, and when it comes to comedy, it's no different. You got great comedy here. I'm going to do something a little different tonight, and I'm going to count on you all being open-minded. I know you're all probably liberals, but I know you're also probably open-minded, which means you'll listen to something different, and you'll give it a chance, and you might hear a few things that you agree with, or you might reject it entirely, and that's fine. I don't blame you for that, but I know you're not going to shut me down right away when I start to speak from the heart here, okay? Hold on a second. Homosexual behavior is antisocial and not at all linked to physical desire. Ha ha ha, funny. Okay. Guys, this is a serious issue that's kind of fucking up the country right now. We got to talk about it. Homosexuality is the manifestation of intense perversion and antisocial attitudes. Okay. Now, I don't expect you to take that as proof right away, but I expect you to bear with me and listen to a few things I had to say. I see you can't believe what you're hearing right now. Wow, oh my God. That's the way I feel when I see Rachel Maddow talking about lesbians raising kids together. I feel like that's what I look like when I'm watching TV. Now, you guys are familiar with Kinsey, right? He did all those experiments on child sexuality in the 60s. Anyway, one of the things that he did get was a clear picture of what homosexuality really is. And out of the percentage of the population that we say is queer, which would be about 8 to 10%, only about 1%, a very, very small amount of people are people who are actually genetically predisposed to liking butts, and making butt promises. The rest are just perverted freaks. Let's think about why is rape so prevalent in prisons, in male-on-male rape, okay? All across America, you have millions of people without access to females. They don't have girlfriends, but they masturbate. They don't go around raping each other. So it's not a lack of access to females that causes this. It's that homosexuality is a decidedly aggressive outlet of anger or social anxiety, okay? Why else do gay men have so many sex partners? They have sex partners in the hundreds compared to the average hetero assortment of 5 to 15 sex partners. With me, it's a higher number, but has anybody ever heard of AIDS patient zero? Anybody? You probably heard of this guy, okay? His name was Gaten Dugas, and spoiler alert, he was a hypersexual faggot who fucked hundreds of men yearly. Okay, they don't mention that a lot on the news, the media, but you'll seldom hear about what his sexual proclivities had to do with the original outbreak of AIDS. Here are a few choices. Can you stop talking, please? You two, right there. Just go outside if you have to talk. Here are a few choices. Here are a few choice quotes. I'm saving, this is for the future. This is for the kids that your kids here, okay? Bye, bye, bye. You don't want to hear something that's, okay, whatever, who cares? Here are a few quotes from Hayden, the AIDS patient zero. Quote number 1, of course I'm going to have sex. Nobody's proven to me that you can spread cancer. Here's quote number 2, at a little bit of a later point there. It's their duty to protect themselves. They know what's going on out there. They've heard about this disease. Here's quote number 3, clearly from a little bit later in his life. I've got gay cancer. I'm going to die, and so are you. Big round of applause for Hayden, please. AIDS patient zero. Thank you. Now, a lot of people will say that that the gayness stems, well, what I would say, I think it stems from child abuse. People will say, look at the brain scan, it's genetic, it's clearly a genetic thing. But that doesn't really prove anything, because meth addicts have a different brain scan, but they weren't born meth addicts, were they? No. So that's just idiotic. What else we got here? So we have this kind of, this view of homosexuals that, they're just promiscuous because they like to party and have fun, right? I would say it's probably more along the lines that gay people are more predisposed to having mental disorders. They're 2 to 3-fold more likely to manifest mood disorders, anxiety disorders, and substance use disorders than heterosexuals. I can see we have a lot of receptive minds in the audience here. Some people will counter that by saying, wah, they have mental disorders because they're victimized and they're bullied and it's homophobia. And what I would say to refute that point is I would talk about the enlightened Europeans, our cousins over across the Atlantic Ocean, the Europeans who are so enlightened. Let's talk about the Dutch. The Dutch are a very tolerant people. They're the most tolerant when it comes to homosexuals. They tolerate weed smoking, they tolerate gay marriage, they even tolerate pedophiles. So gay people in Dutchland, they don't get bullied, do they? No, they don't. However, why is it that when we look at Dutch homosexuals and bisexuals, the mental health profile is the same as their American counterparts? Homosexuals are about 7 times more likely to manifest bipolar disorder and about 6 times more likely to manifest OCD symptoms. And also, we're ignoring the fact that OCD and bipolar disorder are
supposed to be about comedy and stuff?
Well, I'm trying to get a message across here because I understand you guys have seen some funny stuff and maybe you're ready for some sort of thing that's, a little bit more intellectual. I don't know, sorry. If you don't like it, you can leave. Go ahead.
That's the biggest laugh I've had all night.
Well, I'm having a big laugh too, just looking at you, man. Have a nice night. Go get in a car crash. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so OCD and bipolar disorder. Does this sound like a person you know? Does this sound like somebody...
I'm still selling books.
Does this sound like a person you know, a gay person with OCD and bipolar disorder? Next time you see a crazy gay person, maybe it's not because they were bullied. Maybe it's not because of homophobia that they have these sort of mental problems. Maybe it's just because of their faggot brain that's all fucked up. That's what I think. Let's talk about the bareback brotherhood for a moment. This is, a lot of these sources that I'm using, they're not anti-gay hate websites. They are websites that are run by gay people and frequented by gay people. So let's talk about the bareback brotherhood, okay? Here's a quote from their website. The bareback brotherhood is a social network of men from around the globe from all walks of life. We agree on one thing. Sex between men without barriers is natural and a legitimate choice. Sounds reasonable? As consenting adults, skin-to-skin intimacy should be a choice that is not demonized or marginalized. Fuck more, fear less. That's a nice little motto to have there. Here's a profile from that website. Piero here, nice to meet you, spelled M-E-A-T. I'm mainly into man sex, anal sex, and body fluids exchange. I love porn, and I like almost anything in sex, as long as it's played raw and dirty. Barebacking is the only choice for me. And I'm even a romantic guy, mostly when I have something raw up my ass.
Get it?
No, you don't get it. I'm a dirty and proud gay pause barebacker, and I smoke a lot. Now, this guy's wholesome, right? This is just like the gay characters we see on Glee and on The Office. They're just like the gay characters we see on TV, right? He should probably be allowed to marry and raise children and adopt children. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Here's an inconvenient truth for you all. The first AIDS death was a minor. Ooh, surprise, surprise! Gay pedophilia? What? What? His name was Robert Rayford. He died at age 15, but started having symptoms at age 13. Now, why don't they talk about this stuff on those cool TV shows we all like to watch, like Ellen DeGeneres? Do you think America would be fine with that? No, we better clean that image up. We better paint a nice, pretty picture. Gay men, single, monogamous relationships, hand in hand, white picket fences. That's the way it is, not tons of sexual promiscuity. By the way, this is the Zog media machine, the Zionist occupation government media machine, destroying the family, destroying the building block of America. No big deal, right? It's cool. Let's listen to some records on our iTunes. And side note, okay, I didn't wake up this morning hating Jews. I really didn't. I didn't even wake up thinking about Jews. I didn't have a dream where I thought about killing a bunch of Jews. It doesn't enter into my mind at all during the day unless I am provoked into thinking about it. And here's what I thought about. I can't help but notice the primary figures behind all these social justice movements are all Jewish. What? Why?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. The gay acceptance movement, leaders are all Jewish. The people pushing sexed up, inappropriate media to our children, telling little girls, go out and use your pussies to fuck, 12-year-old girl. Here's a music video, Britney Spears, big pussy, go fuck. Oh, they're all Jewish, okay? Hollywood, all Jewish. The leaders of the founding members of the NAACP, you can look this up on Wikipedia when you get home, they're all Jewish. Why? Why are they all Jewish? Why would they be black for the NAACP? That's weird. Maybe it's just because Jews are progressive and enlightened. I guess that's probably it. Folks, I've got gay cancer. I'm going to die, and so are you. Now, we all know that homosexual men are in committed relationships and they just want to raise children. Let's read a popular and fun op-ed piece from The Advocate by Michael Lucas. This is titled, Live in a World Where Everyone Has HIV. Sounds like a fantasy land, doesn't it? Here's a sentence I never thought I would write. I'm in favor of a don't ask, don't tell policy. Not in the military, of course. Those days are behind us. But in the bedroom. What I'm talking about specifically is HIV. And my point is that, at least when it comes to sex, we should talk about it less. It amazes me that in 2011, so many people still won't sleep with HIV-positive guys. Wow, that's a weird little surprise. But it's true. Many HIV-negative friends have told me they won't have sex with anyone they know to be positive. I wonder why. That's so prejudiced and hateful. And I've heard from the other side, too, from positive friends, horror stories about the difficulties of finding a mate. You have a death sentence, you're walking around with a lethal injection in your balls and you can't find a mate? Oh, geez, it's hard luck, pal. Now, he advocates not telling your partner that you're HIV positive and not asking your partner if he's HIV positive. Sounds like the gay community is really starting to figure things out. He goes on, until then, it's none of your business. Leave HIV status off your hookup checklists and manhunt profiles and pre-sex chatter. In this case, ignorance really can be bliss. There are a huge number of super hot HIV positive guys out there that HIV negative men are losing out on. Man, I feel totally gypped. I'm losing out on all these great HIV positive guys. It's time to rid the gay community of irrational fears and discrimination that have held us back for far too long. The baseline rules should be simple. Don't ask, don't tell, stay smart, and enjoy the hell out of each other. He's a real leader for the homo community. And I guess I'm a real homophobe for reading a piece written by a gay man in a gay magazine. That makes me the fucking homophobe, right? Jesus. I'm gonna leave you guys with some statistics here. And I don't have a whiteboard, so you're gonna have to follow along closely. But these are all statistics. This is from the Department of Justice that I took these. And for the purposes of factoring these things, I'm going to be using the most lenient, I'm going to be painting the prettiest picture possible. I'm not going to be using, if it's a range of statistics, I'm not going to be using the plus or minus 3 to my advantage here. 96% of all child molesters are male. 1 out of 3 molestation victims is a boy. 1 to 3% of the total US population is homosexual. 1 to 3% of the general population commits 1/3 of the child molestation. What that means is, best case scenario, is that 55% of homosexuals are child molesters. So that means when you go meet a new friend and he's gay, oh, hey, what's up? I'm gay. I'm totally best friend material. I'm cool. I'm like the people you see on TV, right? I'm totally well-adjusted. Flip a coin, and if it's heads, he's probably going to give a kid head later. Sexy 6-year-olds. Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Use protection, and remember, I've got gay cancer. I'm going to die, and so are you. Thank you, guys.